I'm Nick Agnito, the broadcast manager for the Newark Schools Network. 40 years ago, TV broadcasting for the Newark City Schools began right here, atop Horns Hill. It allowed Newark students an opportunity most high schools just don't offer. Let's take a look back now at the Broadcast Center's rich history. The Newark City Schools began broadcasting thanks to a generous donation by Mr. and Mrs. Games Slater. The TV station honored them by using their initials for identification when WGSF went on the air on March 18, 1963 on Channel 28. But only the basics were covered. There was a building on Horns Hill, a TV antenna, and a transmitter. That's it. There were no cameras, so there was no local programming. WGSF's first broadcast manager, Dana Cox, simply rebroadcasted programming from the Ohio State University's TV station in Columbus. This lasted for 3 years. In 1964, Cox hired the Broadcast Center's most valuable player for the next 31 years, Leland Hubble. He started as the chief engineer at the station until he replaced Cox in 1966. That same year, Hubble began summer classes to teach students about television. Plus, WGSF finally acquired 2 borrowed cameras from Cincinnati that year as well. The station immediately started to use them and relied on Newark High School students to get live local programming up and running. But the cameras didn't last very long.
Many of the students who were in that class continued with the station. In fact, some of them through the rest of the time that the station was actually on the air. In that fall of 1966, we were not able to fund the purchase of those 2 cameras, so they went back to Cincinnati. The students, however, continued working with a Polaroid camera taking transparencies, 3 before transparencies, which were broadcast into a very antiquated system with a lantern slide.
Fortunately, Hubble managed to get 2 other cameras later that fall from WJW in Cleveland. This began the station's golden years. They produced 14 live shows a week. That's because they never had a tape machine until 1968. But during that same year, they were also able to hit the road with their other addition, a TV truck.
It's a 1948 model truck, but it worked. And it came from Utah, but it was quickly repainted with Channel 28 on the truck, and we began then a series of programs all over the area. We went to fairs, we went to ball games, just anything that somebody could put together in the form of a program. We, for the first time, were able to broadcast a Newark school board meeting live, and this created a lot of enthusiasm in the community for the programs that we were doing.
The road on Horns Hill was very steep, so getting there in the winter wasn't easy.
There were many times when we had to walk up that hill in the middle of the winter. You couldn't drive up because it was ice and snow covered. So you talk about a dedicated group. I mean, I would challenge high school students today, if they'd be willing to, in an extracurricular activity, go and park their cars at the bottom of a hill and walk up that ice-covered hill to go do TV on top of that hill during the winter. I think that there were probably a couple times when the old WGSF mobile unit coming down may have lost its brakes coming down that hill. It's a wonder no one was killed at times.
We were coming down the hill, and for anybody who's ever come down Horns Hill, the exit, there is a curve that is just like a total, how we ever made it down that hill, I don't know, without brakes on the van.
Sometimes it wasn't the truck's brakes that presented a problem. The TV crews didn't have a lot of time between production shoots, so students would stay on top of the truck between locations, which gave way to carelessness.
We were driving along, and all of a sudden we hear screaming from the top of the van, and we were coming up on one of the traffic lights and the wires holding it. And that was one of the frightening things, because there was a student up there. That wasn't a paid person, that was a student. So from there on, we really tried to watch our safety issues. Because it's one of the things we were always afraid of, is that we were out doing these things. We were climbing around, and we had students involved.
WGSF changed signals from Channel 28 to Channel 31 in 1970. It meant the station would get a new antenna reaching more than 400 feet in the sky. And making that happen turned out to be quite an adventure for one of the students.
They were concerned because to mount the antenna, they had to put bolts in from the bottom and screw the nuts on the top. This is hard to do with just one person on the ground and one person on the tower. So they said, this really would be easier if somebody would go up with us. At which point, a number of people all pointed and said, he'll go. I said, okay. So I went up and helped install the antenna. Rode up on a wrecking ball, which is the part that throws most people. There are pictures of that. Took along our 16mm film camera and did some scans of the horizon from up there.
WGSF on Channel 31 did many programs for the next 6 years.
Good evening and welcome to Spotlight. Good evening and welcome to Communiscope. Communiscope is a program to view your questions and views on a certain subject. You've been watching 31 Reports, a nightly summary of local, state, national, and international news, plus weather and sports.
In 1975, WBNS was one of the first stations to do electronic news gathering. We were doing it with half-inch recorders and doing a nightly news show 2 years before that. We were doing a nightly news show, which was very unusual for a public station, and certainly for a public station with no staff.
WGSF forced people to really appreciate local TV. We did an enormous amount of sports programming from the area gyms. We did the Wildcat Den program where we had the sports people up every week, and I guess that's what I remember a lot because that's what I was involved with. But there were a whole variety of programs from community service to other things that introduced the people of Newark to the opportunity to have local TV.
And it is old-style television. I mean, it's just basically 2-3 cameras on people talking. But it provided a need in the community, and it really helped people. You know, it's kind of corny, but it helped people kind of come together because it was the first time that there was any kind of local television in the area.
But pressure from the public broadcasting system eventually proved too great. WGSF couldn't secure funds to stay in business. So on June 30th, 1976, WGSF went off the air forever. But Leland Hubble found another way to generate life into the program, thanks to cable television.
Newark granted a cable television franchise, and among the provisions that were included in the federal communications rules were the requirements for a school access channel. So we sought that access channel and were able to receive it.
The TV station, or at least everything inside it, moved to Newark High School. It first found a home on Channel 20, but quickly moved to its current location on Channel 19 after complaints arose about reception problems. The programs were massively scaled down.
This week on Schools in Action, we will be discussing parent-teacher conferences. Tune in at 7 p.m. on Channel 19.
But it still provided students an introduction into television, and it covered as many events around the school district as possible.
This is our 16th annual water show of the Synchro Cats and the Newark Novas, and we're pleased to have you here this evening.
In 1995, Leland Hubble decided to retire, but not without leaving with some words of advice.
One of the things that is often overlooked when people think about television is the extent of teamwork and cooperation that is necessary. You have a group of people with various skills, whether it be art, speaking, directing, or technical skills and interests, all working together for a common purpose. So it's one way that brings together people with many different abilities and requires teamwork.
Unfortunately, the broadcast center entered its dark days after Hubble left. What was done was very little, and the students ended up suffering the most.
My understanding is there's a couple-year period of time there where there was not a class taught, and it was kind of a club atmosphere. People came and went as they chose, and though they did learn some stuff, but it was kind of really lackadaisical and laid back.
In 2000, Newark City Schools decided to enter the new millennium with a new broadcast manager, Steve Estep. With his background in administration, he restructured the program, and in 2001, for the first time in Newark High School's history, students had academic standards to follow.
In the entry-level class is kind of the foundations of the program. We want to teach them a lot of generalizations about different types of broadcasting, advertising, television news, public service announcements, ways to create messages and tell stories and use video at the same time. That includes learning actual production techniques and how to operate equipment, as well as public speaking abilities and the ability to perform and serve as talent on camera. When they get to the advanced class, which is a program that you have to audition for, they take the skills they learned in the entry-level class and parlay that into kind of a job and work environment situation where the students come down and they produce television programs that are seen by the students at the high school as well as go on the air on Channel 19 here in Newark, Ohio.
Additional grant money paid for state-of-the-art equipment, plus the generosity of Howard Lefevre allowed the Broadcast Center to move to its current location in downtown Newark. Estep left in July of 2002 after pointing the Broadcast Center to a positive direction aimed towards the students. And just like the students of old, the next generation of students are learning the valuable lessons of live television. For example, Election 2002 kept one student sharp on his wits.
First shot of me welcoming myself to the show after Jim tossed it down to me, I didn't realize I was on camera because I couldn't hear the director's cue in my ear, and I ended up somehow pulling the intro off, not even knowing I was on camera, only stumbling a couple times, but I made a couple facial expressions at the end that I just laugh at when I look at it now.
Newark High School Principal Bill Mann and several board members asking questions that you might be interested in hearing the answers to. Stand by. We'll be right back after a couple. Stand by. Asking questions that you might be interested in.
Other students have quickly learned about the impact they're having on their viewing audience.
Bull riding, that was definitely interesting. I hosted from that, I believe. And I personally didn't think that the school would buy it, students would buy it, and people did. They thought it was funny, they liked it. And I didn't know there were people actually into bull riding, and there were, so we got positive feedback from that.
The Broadcast Center's commitment to the students learning about television in the 21st century demands the state-of-the-art facility.
You know, I look around and I see all the equipment that they have to work with, and this is really a state-of-the-art facility. And it's really gratifying to me. You know, I wish we could have had a little bit more of that when we were doing it. But it's very gratifying to me to see that the spirit lives on. That spirit will also help students after they graduate high school.
I've talked to several students down in the OU broadcasting program, TV journalism, and they had said that they wish they had some sort of better program to help them prepare going down there. And coming from this program up here, I'm already going to be leaps and bounds ahead of them.
Speaking skills and personality and talking to people and getting things done, calling people, setting up dates for shoots and everything. So it's just people skills, and that helps out a lot in life.
Well, now you know what the Broadcast Center has gone through to get where it is today, but we've only just begun. There are many more opportunities ahead. Thankfully, the most creative and talented people are working right here in the Broadcast Center, making sure Newark's children are receiving an educational opportunity they wouldn't get anyplace else. On behalf of everyone at the Newark City Schools, thanks for watching and making the Newark Schools Network a part of your community.
1.
Hello everybody and welcome to our Channel 19 news studio here at Newark High School. In the program, we have 3 levels of class. We have a single camera class, we have a studio class, and we have an advanced class. Now, we have 3 shows on right now. We have Between the Periods, NHS This Week, and Newark Schools Now. Now, in this room is where we film most of those shows. As you can see, we have our green screen set up, we have our 2 cameras set up, and we have a control room. Now, in the control room is where we control the green screen and the cameras, plus audio. Now, if you could follow me, we have our equipment room. Now in here is where we store our cameras, tripods, SD cards. We have some voiceover equipment. Next is the classroom. Now in here is where we do most of our editing. As you can see, we have many computers that we edit on. As you can see, our students are hard at work producing the next round of Newark Schools Now and other shows.
So far in this class, I like being the director. I like to be behind the scenes, switching the cameras, telling the camera people to what shots to make, and telling the teleprompter what stories to do.
The fact that we get to be on the morning announcements, because that was one of the main things that I wanted to do last year. So we had to learn all the camera equipment and stuff, and we get to work all the controls and learn about all that stuff.
Be sure to check out our new website and follow us on Twitter. I'm Brian Bomer from Newark Schools Now.
What is your favorite part about television media arts?
My favorite part about television media arts is getting to work with all this technology and just going out and doing these videos. And just thinking of what videos I want to be about, what I want my video to be about, and learning stuff I haven't learned through doing these projects.
What do you enjoy most about television media arts?
What I enjoy most about television media arts is just, like I said, I get to go out and make all these videos, and I get to edit them to how I want them to be, and get a little creative sometimes, and I get to learn stuff.
What do you guys do work-wise while in the classroom?
Work-wise in the class, we work on our projects. We think about what we're going to do our videos on. We work on chapters every week to turn in by the end of the week. Sometimes we have 2 chapters to do, and we edit our videos and everything. Sometimes we record in class if it's necessary for the type of video.
How many projects do you get in the class time period?
We've had about 6 projects this year. It's not too many, but they take time to do because you got to think about what you're doing, and then you have to record it and edit it and everything.
How do you prep for your project?
I gather up all the necessary materials. I check out a camera. I make sure everybody that's necessary for the shoot is available at the time, and I go out and shoot it.
All right, thank you.
Molly Morgan here for Wildcat Newsnet. Students at Wilson Middle School are getting hands-on experience with media technology every week when they produce Tiger TV. Now for a closer look at the production.
Tiger TV has been a part of Wilson for many years.
Who started Tiger TV?
Mrs. Stoker, probably 15 years ago.
This program has many things to offer for its students.
Well, we try to get information across to the school population, current events, stuff that affects the school, or information that pertains to the school.
Mr. Ross teaches his students many different things about media technology and broadcasting.
That's good.
Well, we make our own scripts, and then we come on this computer right here, and we bring it up. We do a lot of stuff, announcements that teachers need to be made, mostly. and we'll broadcast stuff at sports and stuff that's happening out of school for Wilson.
Right now, I'm currently trying to phase them into video production, editing videos, but right now they're currently writing scripts for Tiger TV and just really trying to make Tiger TV better. I would like this class to mirror more of the things that we're doing at the high school.
This program is intended to prepare students for the high school course.
It's more basic than what he teaches in the high school. You have to have good grades, you have to be a model citizen, and basically you just have to have that extra drive, willingness to go above and beyond.
This class is only open to 7th and 8th graders of Wilson Middle School.
6th graders are not allowed to participate yet because I want to see a trend. If they're all those things I said before, are they good citizens, good role models, do they have good grades?
Students were attracted to the program for many reasons.
I wanted to join this program because I wanted to see how it would be like to anchor and get the feeling out of the broadcast.
It seemed like a really good opportunity for colleges
to be noticed and make a difference.
There are many aspects that students find appealing about this program.
Just making the scripts and being on the school.
I just want to be on camera, I guess you'd say.
I think the most fun about it is the anchoring and probably the camera.
Don't forget, we have a giving tree going on outside the office. Please donate hats, mittens, and scarves for the less fortunate this winter.
The Tiger TV participants came to the Newark High School studio to look around and see what is in store for them in the very near future.
I sent a picture of Brendan. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. That's what
Do you plan on taking media technology classes when you get to the high school?
Yes.
Yeah, really.
Yes. And that's all for Tiger TV.
Hello, I'm Adam here with Max Coots and Brian B. So what do you do in your production class?
In the production class here at the high school, we produce the Newark Schools Now show, which is a collection of different news stories focusing mainly on the high school, elementary, and middle schools here in the Newark City Schools District.
What is your class size?
We have a pretty small class, but we would like to get some more students.
How much work do you get in in about a week?
It depends on the week. I mean, a lot of times you get a pretty heavy workload of a couple stories you have to produce for the monthly show. Or right now we're doing a side project that we're doing for our own personal. Can be a creative project, I guess is the word for it. But it can get pretty heavy and it can get pretty light. It all depends on how well you can work and you can manage your workload.
Do you often have homework?
Well, depends on what would say homework is. I mean, our class is mainly outside of class work. I mean, we go out and we shoot things, and then in class we pretty much just edit. So most of the work in the class is all outside of class, which is kind of nice. It's fun. You know.
How many productions do you have in a semester?
It depends on what we can put out. If we could do, we do a show a month. I think that's our goal right now. Maybe 2 shows a month, and then we also we're starting now as our side creative project. So the workload's slowly kind of going up, and it fluctuates depending on if we're doing a capstone this year or like smaller creative projects. Or last year we did some PSAs for the Red Cross. Things like that can go back and forth.
What do you do in your class time?
Mostly just edit. I mean, that's our main goal, and get the stories out as fast as possible.
All right, you heard it from the best. Come join the production class.
The Newark Schools Now production team has created several entries for the Ohio Valley Chapter Student Broadcast Awards.
name is Leslie Blackston Favors. I am the High School Student Production Awards Chairman for the Ohio Valley chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. Very long title there, okay? National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, everyone knows that organization as the presenter of the Emmy Awards, okay? So, what I'm going to talk to you about today, as I did with the first group, I'm here to talk to you about our Student Production Award competition, what you can do to enter, how you can make your entries better, a lot of behind the scenes things that are going on, and then I'm going to give you a little taste of what it's like with the Emmy Awards themselves. The Emmy experience is unbelievable. It's a lot of fun. All the students who do come for the Student Production Awards always have a really great time. You're actually there with broadcast professionals. It's just like what you see on TV for the National Emmy Awards, the Primetime Awards. Men in their tuxes, women in their gowns, lots of photographers all around. I mean, it's very, very exciting, and students get to actually come up on stage during a live broadcast, and they receive their awards in front of a professional audience.
Leslie spoke about some of the key points in creating winning entries, like how to have strong voiceovers and how to make sure your video is on par with what's expected at the awards. For my video project, I decided to do a short showcase on one of my cars I worked on for a while. I decided
to do a PSA on the Red Cross and all the apps they have. For more,
my name is Brian Bomer, and for my short film in the January episode, I followed a friend, Dylan Coventry, through his adventures at Young Life.
We're all hard at work here at the broadcast studio to finish our entries. Please wish us the best of luck in our contests. Our results should be here sometime around June. For Newark Schools Now, I'm Max Kuntz.